Okay, everybody. Yesterday, we left with a data flow prop connected to our containerized Ops bridge suite in the cloud. But what do I want to do with that? And that would be, of course, synchronizing CIs between our environment and the main environment, which I will call SaaS, although it's not a proper SaaS that you get when you buy the product from Micro Focus. It's a simulated SaaS, but the principle of CI synchronization is exactly the same, with the exception, of course, of some small details, like let's say security or something like that, which would be on a much more mature level in the SaaS itself. But here, it's gonna be, of course, I control everything, and there is a lot of limitations that I put, but still, I'm one guy and not a whole security team like the normal SaaS would be. Okay, so what we have so far, we have a data flow probe connected. Now we need to actually verify that, we trust the SaaS domain in terms of what is the allowed IP range. So to do that, we need to ping our SaaS, right? So ping SaaS3, no, it's going to be ping opsb.sas3.opsbenablement.com. And there's our IP. This is the IP that we're going to use. Okay, this is the IP from the load balancer that I have there. Why do I need to ping it? Because, well, it changes sometimes. I'm not using any static IPs, but they change like once every few months, which would be good enough for here. And if you're using production, of course, all of your IPs would be static anyway, so that's okay. All right, so we will go over here to our data flow probes in our UCDMB browser, and we would need to end a new range, and the range would be basically CIDR, and I'm going to paste the IP, and I'm going to say, well, actually, no, it's going to be 32, which means that only this IP is in this range, and nothing else can constitute a trustworthy location, right? Then I'll need to go and I'll need to change some integration settings, right? Why do I do that? Well, there are timeouts and there are all kinds of considerations. It asks me if I want to save. I say, yes, I want to save. And then we'll go to integration settings and we'll just increase the timeout. It's going to be by adding digit 9. Right, so it's going to be adding the parameters in the screenshot. Okay, so for me, it's going to be integration point adapter. Now, I need to increase it by 10, right? So how do I increase by 10? I basically add a 0 at the end of it. But instead of 0, I'm going to add a 9. Why a 9? Because there is not much difference between 0 and 9. It's still times 10, but I can easily spot that those parameters were changed. Right, so I'm going to add 10 over here and 10 over here. Basically, I need the timeouts to be much, much longer because I'm connecting from half the world away. If it would be the same location in AWS, same network, I wouldn't be worried about it at all. But considering that we are literally connecting something between two continents, and this connection is sensitive, then of course we don't need to be worried about it. Okay, and now we need to click the save button, I guess, and I don't see that we need to do it. It actually was saved. Let's click on all. Yes, all the parameters were saved. Sometimes they're not. Let me just double check that everything that I did is the same, because I really needed to work, not just showing it to you. All right, and now we're going to be forwarding our topology. What kind of topology you send? And it's like, wait a second. That's a big question. Well, for me, it's going to be simple. There are several integration scenarios with SaaS. One of them is you control all of the CIs that you have in your own environment, and then you send to SaaS everything that you need. And there's another chaotic example, but a valid scenario where you just send everything that you got, and then on the SAS instance, the one that you consider to be the main one from now on, this is where you make everything in order. And I'm going to use this scenario because my environment is pretty much empty and it was built as a subordinate environment from the very beginning. So to me, it makes a big logic, well, the main logic of actually having all of my CIs sent to SAS and then deal with the CIs on the SAS level. So I'll go to queries over here and I'll create a new query. And this basic query is going to have basically the managed object as its which means all of the CIs, and I'm going to include all of the relationships as well. So we're going to be add relationship, manage relationship to itself, and this is it. It considers itself to have all of the basically, well, all of it is here. All of the CIs, all of their relationships to each other, which means that I'm forwarding everything that I have into a single place. Let's save it in the root directory over here, and I'll call it January send to SAS. Now, if I remember correctly, in SAS, I have a filter that looks for this name in one of the parameters. So I really need to have it like this, because in SAS, I want to distinguish between CIs that are sent to me from elsewhere and between my own CIs, right? You don't want to confuse between the two. So one of the way is actually to recognize that the integration point that is sending the CIs to you also adds a parameter of its own, which means that I can filter them out later. Okay, again, if you send everything to the same bucket, it's better to have a way to distinguish what is the source of anything that you send there. Right, so we save the query, and then we will go to Integration Studio. And I have no idea what the password is. Okay, now I do have an idea what the password should be. So I'm going to give the integration name. What is going to be? It's going to be CI sync with SAS. Yep, that's all I need. The adapter is going to be the normal UCMDB adapter. Right, UCMDB adapter. And now we need to give it the all the normal stuff, right? So the host name and IP is going to be this. I think I did not import the certificate, the SAS certificate into here, right? I might not be able to connect. I have no idea. We'll have to give it a shot and see if I really need to do something. Okay, and the user label here is going to be SAS UCMDB user. The username is going to be SAS RTSM. And the password is going to be, fingers crossed that I do remember the password, that I don't need to go to SAS and reset it. Let me use this password. Okay. Let's see, we saved it. We can go ahead and test the connection. Oh, it doesn't work. Oh, the IP, it's a different IP. It's 365.43.56. Let me do this. 365.43. I think our SAS has two IPs. Yes. Is it like NS Offspring SAS? Right. We need to have two IP addresses over here, right? No, not NS. NS lookup. Is it right? Yes. Okay. So I need to add another IP to the range. So I'm going to say okay, and I have no idea what happened here, but that's great. So I have a load balancer and the IP of of the whole thing is one thing, but yes, but I need to accommodate two of those IPs. So it's going to be CIDR, and that's going to be the IP 32. Okay, okay, do not show this again. Okay, and then I'm going to go to the Integration Studio and give it another try. Although I did not import the SAS certificate into the data flow probe, so I'm not sure. Maybe I missed something here. Maybe I do need. Let's see, test connection. Okay, okay, okay. No credentials. The credentials are not correct. So the credentials are not connect. Dear customer, it says. One second. You know what? Not to waste any time. Actually, yeah, let's reset the password in SAS. Okay, the password was reset. While I'm at it, let's change the pushback IDs for population and for push, which means that the global IDs that the SAS will generate actually will be present in this environment as well. Let's say test connection, and it basically says, please check the credentials, failed to retrieve credential on the probe side. Protection credentials. Oh, right. It did not save the credentials because there was no successful connection. So yeah, okay, which is much more logical. So user label is going to be connect RTSM to SAS. Right, username is going to be SAS RTSM, and the password is going to be our normal password. We say okay. We say thank you. We say test connection. And we wait and we pray and we hope and we plead and we still wait for Java to do the Java thing. Okay, that's it then. Java, have to love it. Have to love it. There is a new UI, don't worry. It's going to come out soon for OBSBridge as well. And it is based on HTML5 and everything is great. But for now, we are stuck with this one because I'm using the Java version. It has its benefits, of course. It's very nice and it works locally on your computer when you want it to, but it's not HTML5. Okay, and we are done. Connection successful. So let me see. Pushback IDs for population for push, and we say okay and thank you. Now it will save the integration, and it makes us super duper mega happy. And now we need to create the data push job itself, right? So this is just the integration, but it doesn't mean that there are any instructions for it to perform, right? So now when it will save the job, save the work, you know what? I'm not going to pause the recording. I want you to feel what I feel about Java and be happy that it's going away. Right, so now it will save whatever it will save. There's a lot of details there, you know, it's just, you know, the whole SAS URL. It's a very long URL, you know, when you save it, it just, that thing consumes resources, man. I mean, and the port, don't get me started on the port. The normal one is 8443 and I changed it. So, you know, you change it from the normal one and saving it. That's difficult job, man. Okay, that's Java doesn't take it lightly at all. That's a big responsibility to change the port. So while it is changing all the default settings of the password is secure. So, you know, when you save secure password, you need to go to the database and you need to save it with a hash value and all of this. And you need to get confirmation that whatever you saved on the other side is saved, you know. And the database is very, very far away. It's just, you know, it's just goes through the cable and stuff. So definitely, that's worth the wait that we experience over here. That's fine. That's fine. We can deal with that. We just need to wait for it a little bit more. and eventually it will save its current state, and we'll get some opportunities to edit the push job when it will be done. Okay. Now what I'm going to pause the recording. Okay, there we go. So it's saved, and now I'm going to activate it, which includes the connection testing, as you see. So this one took a while, and then I'm going to be editing the data push itself. All right, and now the job is active. Let's go to our data push over here, and we'll create a new integration job. Okay, the new integration job, the canonical one, what would be? It would be, what would be sense? Yeah, let's make a descriptive one. So it's going to be saying send CIs to SAS every 15 minutes. And we will add a query that we previously did. So there's going to be January sent to SAS. And the interval is going to be every 30 minutes, I believe. Yeah, 30 minutes should be good enough. It means that every 30 minutes it will start itself, and we'll try and send CIs to SAS in general. Okay. Now, did I say scheduler enabled, or I just created the schedule? Probably I did press it. So now we will save our job, save our work, and try to synchronize our CIs. So now let's just say synchronize in full, which means that it will try and synchronize everything. We'll have to refresh this page several times to see, okay, it's running. So running, it means that it already connected to the data flow probe, I believe. Okay, running. Should not take long. It's not going to be lots of CIs. And the data flow probe normally is doesn't have difficulty. Okay, there we go. We have 28 CIs by now. Let's see, and then it says completed. 3 of them failed, probably some duplicates or something like that. And the CIs were synchronized. Now in SAS, the CIs of this environment exist, and every 30 minutes it will send new ones. So agents, discovery, custom CIs that are created, everything would be forwarded to SAS every 30 minutes. And then SAS would actually submit it to its own optic. So it's going to be very, very convenient in terms of reporting and everything else, with a very minimal cost of effort for the in-house environment, like the one that we operate here. So I hope you like this video. In the next one, we're going to be synchronizing events from on-prem environment to SaaS environment. So see you there. See you in the next one.